Welcome to the 2017
Commencement and Diploma Ceremony of the Jack Joseph and Morton Mandel School of Applied Social Sciences. And we're happy to have a nice dry location. We had quite a little walk over here. This is a special year for our school. We celebrated our centennial, celebrating our unique place as America's first university-affiliated professional graduate school of social work, celebrating an illustrious past and an exciting future, and celebrating 100 years creating leaders in social change. Today we are joined by two of our centennial co-chairs who are also alumni, Dr. Kathleen Farkas and Dr. Denise Gibson, as well as by other alumni who are living the mission of the school to build a more just world. I'd like all alumni who are here to please stand and be recognized. And graduates and faculty, please sit down. Today we celebrate the first graduates of our next 100 years, commencing another century of accomplishment and activism. Each of you is outstanding and will go forward to change the world. You will be receiving the Master of Science in Social Administration or the Master in Nonprofit Organizations. Some will receive both degrees. These degrees signify not only your academic success, but more importantly, your passages into professions where you have chosen to serve others and to build strong communities. For those receiving the social work degree, MSSA, I ask that you always identify yourselves as a social worker. Whatever path is in your future, nonprofit leader, advocate, organizer, policy analyst, professor, lawyer, parent, say with pride, I am a social worker. Yeah. Claim your professional identity and be proud. For our M&O graduates, I also charge you with claiming your identity as a leader in nonprofit management. You are all change agents and all Mandel School graduates. On behalf of everyone at the Mandel School, I offer our congratulations on completing a special part of your journey today. Of course, you were not alone in this journey. We want to thank the many people who have supported our graduates along the way. Many of your supportive family and friends are with us today, and I extend a very warm welcome to your guests. Graduates, in recognition of all those who have helped you, mothers, fathers, spouses, partners, family and friends, those with us today, those tuning in live stream, and those who could not be here, would you please rise and honor them with a round of applause. Faculty members and field advisors have been integral to your education. These dedicated individuals have worked hard to provide excellent educational experiences for you. Faculty members and field advisors, I'd like you all to please stand and be recognized. People on the stage and people in the audience. I want to note that our school, in addition to the MSSA and M&O degree, we also train people in the PhD, Doctor of Philosophy in Social Welfare. And that ceremony takes place just shortly after ours has begun. So some of our faculty will be leaving here to participate in the graduate ceremony. I mention that just in case you see somebody leaving and wonder, what the heck is going on? Well, they want to be here to honor their master's graduates, but also want to be with their doctoral graduates. So I appreciate their coming to both of our ceremonies. It's with great pleasure that I introduce the Mandel School graduate student speaker. This person was nominated by their peers to represent the 2017 graduating class. And the person nominated is Avery Martins. Avery? No, right over here. Oh, yes. Center stage.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. Well, I wanted to start by thanking you, friends, for this honor and this opportunity to speak today. I also want to thank my mom for her tireless support and Jewish mom vigilance, as well as my best friend and biggest source of support and inspiration, Lisa Martin, and other tireless student advocates, Raya, whose allyship has meant the world to me, Jasmine and Lisa, whose advocacy has given me life, and to the supportive and incredible faculty of MSAS and Case Western Reserve. I stand here before you today as a reflection of this learning community and our deep passion for social justice, education, and equity. We are a class of people across difference who were drawn to MSAS with the goal of becoming the best versions of ourselves, and for the purpose of creating meaningful change in a world in turmoil. I'm grateful to the universe for ensuring that our paths have crossed and that now we have a lifelong community of colleagues and friends to turn to for support, inspiration, and guidance as we continue to grow and engage with the world that we're a part of. As we leave here, we walk into this world with degrees that speak to different aspects of social work, macro or micro. So it seems like since all of our families are in this room now, it's just the best time to explain what this means. So the micro level is the closest to the individual. It's our family, our peers, our coworkers, schools, neighborhoods, therapeutic settings, places of employment, courts, after-school programs. All of these make up someone's micro environment. These are the places and the people that we have a direct interaction with. The macro level takes a broader view and looks at the context that the individual is in. This wider understanding of the environment includes the laws, economic systems, social conditions, culture, values, the criminal justice system, healthcare, educational systems, beauty standards, housing systems, and our history. All the things that shape the world that we're living in, right? So macro is what shapes or creates or worlds our world. One thing that my experience at MSAS has definitely taught me is that macro and micro are truly two sides of the same coin, and each just reflects the other. There isn't actually a macro or micro divide. The macro level is just another way of saying the political, historical, cultural, legal, economic, and social systems that define our world, and that our micro level is really just the day-to-day expressions of that macro context. So really, to practice effectively, and either requires a deep understanding of both. So the gold standard of social work tells us that those who are most impacted by the problem are also closest to the solution. And we know that across every social and environmental issue and indicator, that people of color are the most disproportionately and most severely impacted, often in brutal and life-altering ways. All the while being resilient, innovative, creative, brilliant, and courageous. So my advice to all of those who care about building a better world is to follow and support the leadership of people of color, their organizing, their academics, their research, their stories, their videos, their publications, their media. Some folks think I'm kind of woke, but it's really just that I've been listening to those who are most impacted by injustice, their analysis and their work, while self-reflecting, taking action, and repeating. Also, fellow white folks, we have to think critically on the role of whiteness and what we need to unlearn from this role. And we need to create meaningful ways for us to produce real systems change. To take on the fight against racism, as the white anti-racist organizer Ann Braden says, as if our lives depend on it, because in all actuality, They really do. Leaders of color are providing direction for the way that we're all going to get out of this mess we've made of this planet. In fact, organizers of color have been doing this all along. Since the indigenous resistance to genocide on this land, to over 100 years of surviving and organizing, to over hundreds of years of surviving and organizing against the most brutal of all slave trades in human history, the Atlantic slave trade, to the anti-lynching movement, Reconstruction, Jim Crow, and the civil rights movements of the 60s through today, organizers of color in the US have been battling systemic injustice for literally the betterment of all oppressed people for over 400 years. As we go into the world, we have to be aware of how oppressive behaviors, attitudes, values, beliefs, and operational systems manifest in our organizations, our institutions, our social service agencies, therapeutic settings, our schools, and even our own selves. I am reminded of the feminist scholar Audre Lorde, who said, "The true focus of revolutionary change is never merely the oppressive situations that we seek to escape, but that piece of the oppressor which is planted deep within each of us." Or, to quote our very own Dean Gilmore, "We each have to examine our role in continuing oppression and racism, not just in our everyday personal and professional choices, in our agencies, in our schools, at our sports games, but also in the very way we structure and deliver our programs, projects, and events. Every single day, we are gifted incredible opportunities to work to fulfill our mission as social workers. We know that inequity and injustice have been created by a system, explained by our macro layer, that was designed for the explicit purpose of maintaining power for those who have at the expense of those who have not. This systemic nature is exactly why people of color, LGBTQ people, poor, low-income white people, people with disabilities, and women are always more severely impacted. Honestly, all of us have a better, more just world to gain by addressing the system built on racial injustice. And I know that we are all profoundly, passionately committed to this work because we truly have a deep love for this world and the people that inhabit it. We are inspired and motivated by the vibrant buzz of human creativity, resilience, development, goodness, and the love of community. We are so passionate about being change agents that we've committed to this work for the long haul, both in our forever student loan debts and also through our careers. Really, the student loans should be like how much you make, because we're paying as much as doctors. To me, this work is way bigger than Republican or Democrat. I believe it is really about a way of having relationships with ourselves and each other, and a way of examining power dynamics that are present in those relationships. How are humanity, justice, and equity being expressed in our relationships? What are the historical context for who we are and how we are with each other? I believe that this work is about a critical and self-reflective inquiry into how our world has been made and understanding our relationship to it. This work is hard, but it is beautiful, transformative, and healing. And I believe in our collective efforts, if Dr. Joseph were here, our synergy, our ability to build something better, to honor the aspects of human culture that nurtures us and our world, and to unlearn those aspects which cause oppression and injustice. We get back so much when we give up exploitive systems that really don't work for any of us. I'm going to leave you with one last quote from another revolutionary, Che, who said, "At the risk of seeming ridiculous, let me say that the true revolutionary is guided by great feelings of love." Sending you all lots of love as we venture into this next part of our journey. The world needs us, and I know we're up to the challenge. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Avery. Graduates, you did a great job in choosing her. I am pleased to begin now with our awards portion of our program. The first award is the Irene Saw Gross Award. This award is selected by Mandel School students for a fellow classmate. At this time, I would like the current intensive weekend representative of the Mandel Council for Student Community Leadership, Sarah Makovitz, to come forward to present this award. Sarah?
The Irene Saw Gross Award was established by Mr. Milton Gross to honor his wife, an MSAS graduate, in 1940. It is given to a member of the graduating class chosen by their peers in recognition of outstanding interest and accomplishments in the area of humanitarian service. The award is based on two premises: unusual capacity of human understanding and demonstrated service of social service through curricular and extracurricular activities. This year's winner of the Irene Saw Gross Award exemplifies all the noted qualities. The students' nominations including the following quotations: "This graduate has been a community organizer and activist since their days in high school nearly 15 years ago, and is the first person in her family to pursue a higher educational degree. Over the summer, the graduate worked as an intern for the ACLU without compensation, without even considering or expecting to log their hours as field work. They purely just want to do what they do for society and the restoration of the Cleveland area and improve the society we live in. Although a macro practice student, they carry themselves and operate in a direct practice fashion, validating, listening to, and helping. An outstanding advocate for racial equity and the LGBT rights as seen through their service in their community, and all-around passionate, talented social work student who is guaranteed to create long-lasting positive change in their community. The 2017 Irene Saw Gross Award goes to Avery Martins. Avery, can you please come forward?
She's going to come up and we'll present it right over here. I wanted to keep her up on stage after the presentation. We now move to the presentation of the Mandel School Dean's Outstanding Student Achievement Award. This award is presented to a graduate or graduates whom faculty feel exhibits academic achievement, exceptional service to the school, and exemplary performance in field education. A summary of comments from faculty nominators includes the following. I've had the privilege of knowing this graduate for over a decade while collaborating with her in a professional capacity as Assistant Director of Catholic Charities. In that role, she impressed me with her problem-solving skills, her unerring commitment to the individuals that her agency serves, and her desire to do everything she can to help our community improve on a structural level. Another nominee said, "This graduate has also impressed me with the degree of service she has offered to the Mandel School during her several years there as a student in the intensive weekend program. She has offered up her time as a volunteer in addition to helping to organize several professional development events with faculty members. She has met with prospective MSAS students to discuss the realities of life in graduate school. This graduate has proven to be an academic shining star while in the Mandel School. She consistently achieves very high grades across the vast majority of her classes and encourages her peers and members of her cohort to put in as much effort as she does herself. Finally, I feel this graduate's academic performance goes far beyond mere grades and extends to her role as a promoter of morale within the school and specifically her cohort. Hers is a role that I believe is integral to the academic success of far more than just one student. I am convinced that I have learned as much from her and her experience at my agency as she has learned from me. For all of her accomplishments in leadership, I am pleased to present the 2017 Dean's Award for Academic Student Achievement to Jill Valentic. Now I'd like to move to the presentation of our Outstanding Field Instructor Award. Each year we have the opportunity to recognize one individual as an outstanding field instructor. Field instructors are the social workers in the agencies who work without extra pay to help students develop their professional skills, apply the classroom theory to the realities of today's service delivery challenges, and develop their identities as professional social workers. They do it because they are committed to students and to the future of the profession. Here is a comment from a student who nominated this field instructor. My field instructor should receive this award because he is the epitome of what a social worker is and should be. He developed into a program administrator by first helping families as an intake worker. He later moved to ongoing services where he helped families heal and grow. He never forgets he is a social worker. When he agreed to become my field instructor, he encouraged me to learn not only at the micro level, but at the meso and macro levels. He made sure I understood how our clients are overrepresented in the juvenile justice and child welfare systems. He is culturally sensitive and demands that of others. He encouraged me to become a member of NASW. He is never too busy for my questions, and I had a lot of them. Even now, as the journey of the classroom is coming to an end, he is still mentoring me and helping me prepare to get my LSW and the LISW. It was great pleasure that I announced that this year's Field Instructor of the Year is Bradley Smith. Unfortunately, Bradley is not able to be with us today. So I know, So those of you who know Bradley or you come across him, please tell him how much we appreciate the work that he's done, and we will give him his award in a special presentation. We now move to another teacher award, and this is the MNO Teacher Award, a person who is being recognized for their work in supporting the Master of Nonprofit Organizations degree program. The award is presented to an instructor who demonstrates dedication to the development of students in the Master of Nonprofit Organization program and their full educational experience at the Mandel School. Here are selected student comments about this year's awardee. Her class was one of the most beneficial classes I have taken during my M&O studies. The class is packed with important practical information, and she clearly cares that each student completely understands the concepts. Although the class is one of the toughest in the curriculum, this instructor somehow finds a way to make the class fun, engaging, and not totally intimidating. Her sense of humor, patience, and passion for teaching were displayed from day one, evidenced by her boundless energy infused into each session. I will forever think of her when I review an organization's I-990 form. She pushed me to work hard, and I learned more than I thought possible. It was the hardest class I have ever taken in the program, but she made it fun because of her passion and energy. Her class is one of the highest return on investment. Her passion for nonprofit financial responsibility is genuine and absolutely contagious. I learned many life-changing lessons, including that we can tell the values of a person, organization, or government by what they spend their money on. This has shifted my worldview dramatically and helped me see clearly the truths of many. Thank you. And my favorite quote from the instructor herself, "No margin, no mission." The M&O Teacher of the Year at the Jack Joseph and Morton Mandel School of Applied Social Sciences is Barbara Clemenson. No margin, no mission. Great quote. Now we have the presentation of the John A. Yankee Outstanding Teacher Award for full-time and adjunct teaching. And this is going to be presented by the president of our Alumni Association, Annette Iwamoto.
Thank you, Dean Gilmore, our welcomed guests, faculty, and graduates. It is a special honor for me to be with our centennial graduating class, 100 years of proud service for the benefit of all. As president of the Mandel School Alumni Association, may I welcome the centennial class of 2017 to our ranks. Today, you join nearly 8,000 Mandel graduates from all 50 states and 36 countries across the globe. As alumni, we feel strongly connected to the school. Our greatest goal is to raise scholarship money to help offset the cost of tuition for our students. Within the past year, we've raised nearly $139,000 from alumni and friends that went directly into financial aid. Now that you are officially alumni, remember us when you get your annual fund call. Please also save the date for your first reunion, to be held on Friday, October 6th, which this year's graduates may attend for free. And be sure to stop by the Alumni Association table at the reception this afternoon to receive a special graduation gift from the Alumni Association. The Alumni Association is also proud to be involved in the presentation of the Outstanding Teacher Awards. The awards honor Emeritus Professor John Yankee, who was nominated a record number of times as Outstanding Teacher for his ability to enlighten, motivate, and inspire. Although this award focuses on 2 people today, it is a testimony to the tremendous talent and commitment of each and every one of our faculty members who teach at the Mandel School. Please join me in thanking our entire faculty for their extraordinary commitment to the education of our students. Let's begin with the Adjunct Faculty Award. Here's selected student comment about this adjunct faculty member. Her class about trauma-informed social work was one of the best classes I've taken at the Mandel School. Not only did she work tirelessly to ensure that materials were current and applicable to our work, she also did a wonderful job in structuring the class and ensuring that all students were engaged and learning. The outstanding adjunct teacher at the Jack Joseph and Morton Mandel School of Applied Social Sciences is Melissa Romaine. Please come up and accept this award. Now for the Full-Time Faculty Award. Here are selected student comments about our Full-Time Faculty Award winner. In an age where an understanding of mental health and trauma is critical to effective work, there is no one better to instruct and inspire the next generation than this instructor. She is an outstanding professor. Not only does she meet the criteria for nomination, she far exceeds it. In the classroom, she effectively creates a sense of community, a safe place for us to learn and process the effects of horrific transgressions against humans. This learning is enhanced by her ability to relate and to communicate with her students in a way that promotes mutual respect and tolerance for each other, for the individuals we work with, and for the subject matter. She presents relevant research and resources to her students each week on the topic taught. The resources she provides are valuable for understanding the material, completing assignments, as well as working with clients in the field. She is passionate about the classes she teaches, which is often inspiring to her students. Aside from being a brilliant educator, this instructor is a powerful catalyst for change. She models and encourages the ideals, values, and ethics of the profession to which we have decided to dedicate our lives. Her passion for social justice exudes her every interaction within both the school and the community. This is evidenced through her role as co-founder of Standing Tall for Social Justice and her daily actions advocating for vulnerable populations. The opportunity to learn from this instructor has been one of the greatest privileges of my education. The outstanding faculty member at the Jack Joseph Morton Mandel of Applied Social Sciences is Dr. Jennifer King. Please come forward and accept this award.
Well, Annette, thank you for the presentations, and we're so grateful to our award winners for the dedication that they bring to their teaching and for the inspiration that they give to the students. I love when I read not only the statements from students who have nominated them, but frankly, when I read the teaching evaluations of all of our faculty. Our faculty do an extraordinary job, and each one of them is deserving of recognition. And what is often said by students is that they want to be social workers just like the people that have taught them. So I thank you all for your dedication. We have one more award that we're going to give, and it goes to our commencement speaker. Our commencement speaker, Dr. Darla Spence Coffey, is receiving the Advocate for Human Rights Award. Darla Spence Coffey is the president of the Council on Social Work Education, or CSWE. CSWE is the voice of social work education in America and represents more than 750 accredited undergraduate and graduate programs of professional social work. Dr. Coffey has professionally and personally championed many causes for social work and social justice, including the 21st Century Cures Act, a comprehensive mental health bill. She was successful in advocating for a doctoral degree in social work to be considered as qualification for a new assistant deputy position created at the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Administration. The original bill only included psychologists and psychiatrists. She also helped CSWE become a member of the Interprofessional Education Collaborative after communicating the important role that social workers play in effective and comprehensive health care services. Dr. Coffey worked with the Health Resources Services Administration to include social work schools as eligible to apply for the next round of behavioral health workforce education and training grants. Social work was excluded in the previous round. This is the largest workforce development effort that social work has ever been involved in. She makes sure that we're at the table. She regularly advocates for new members of Congress to join the Congressional Social Work Caucus and has worked with the Institute of Medicine to lead the inclusion of the importance of social determinants of health, which is social work's domain, and the importance of attending to the health and well-being of healthcare students and workforce. She also helped CSWE sign on to the reintroduction of the Social Work Reinvestment Act, which was presented to Congress last month. Prior to her tenure at CSWE, Dr. Coffey served as Professor of Social Work, Associate Provost, and Dean of Graduate Studies at Westchester University in Pennsylvania. She received her BSW from Eastern College, her MSW from the University of Pennsylvania, and her PhD from Bryn Mawr College Graduate School of Social Work and Social Research. She has an extensive background in social work practice in the areas of mental health, substance abuse, and domestic violence. After years of working with and researching the effects of domestic violence on children, Dr. Coffey developed a curriculum, Parenting After Violence, and trained cohorts of social workers in the child welfare system in Philadelphia in its implementation. Dr. Coffey has been active in national social work organizations throughout her career. As a longtime member of CSWE, she has served on the Council on Leadership Development and the Commission on Educational Policy. She has also served on numerous community boards that provide services to women and children and is currently a national advisor to the Institute for Safe Families in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Dr. Coffey is an innovative leader who has worked tirelessly to bring attention to social workers and other change agents who address society's most pressing challenges. It is fitting that one of the final events of our centennial celebration features a trailblazer of her caliber and vision to guide our graduates in school into the next 100 years of activism and accomplishment. Therefore, for her significant contributions as a leader, role model, and creator of opportunities for others, the Jack Joseph and Morton Mandel School of Applied Social Sciences proudly bestows upon Darla Spence Coffey the Mandel School Advocate for Human Rights Award.
Wow. Thank you, Dean Gilmore. I'm deeply, deeply touched. And I'm going to quickly shift because the reason I'm here today is for you. So I just want to make sure the graduates are right here in front, right? Okay, so I am here to talk to you, but I want to say a couple of things first to some other folks, but I'll be back. I really feel so very honored to be here to share this special moment in the lives of all of those gathered here. Again, Dean Gilmore, thank you for this generous invitation. And I feel particularly honored because of it being sort of the capstone event of the 100 weeks of celebrating the centennial anniversary of the Mandel School of Applied Social Sciences. Congratulations. First, the faculty and staff of the Mandel School of Applied Social Sciences, I want to say hello to you, and I want to congratulate you on having one of the top schools in the country. The very first, as I learned as I was researching, in the country to be affiliated with a university, and what an exceptional program you have. I have had the privilege of working with several of you in different capacities, and I'm familiar with the work of many others whose acquaintance I have not yet had the opportunity to make. The contributions of the faculty to the social work profession and social work education is substantial in the areas of international social work policy and research, evidence-based practice, poverty and community development, violence prevention, research and education, just to name a few. I know you know who you are. I just wanted to make sure that that you knew I did as well, so thank you. I appreciate the time, dedication, and passion that you commit to advancing the profession through your teaching, consultations, research, and scholarship. And thank you for making a priority that which we are here to celebrate today, the presentation of the awards for the next generation of social work practitioners, researchers, and scholars. Next, let me see the families and loved ones gathered here today. You're on the sides. Yay. You have heard expressions of gratitude from this morning and from others, I'm sure, but I wanted to make sure that I added my heartfelt appreciation to you as well. You have supported the important choice of someone that you love to pursue a career in social work or nonprofit leadership, and I thank you for that. This is a choice that you may or may not have always completely understood. See, I thought so. But supported them you did, and we all thank you for that. From where I sit, there is no question that we need more social workers and change agents. So thank you for the role that you've played in that. Okay, so graduates, now I'm back to you. The graduating class of 2017, this is your day. Congratulations. I have to tell you, I have been really looking forward to this opportunity to talk with you because I've been talking about you. I've actually been talking about you quite a bit, and if truth be told, I've been bragging about you. Some of the things that Dean Gilmore may have hinted at this. In my capacity as president and CEO of the Council on Social Work Education, I have the opportunity to talk to members of Congress, directors and personnel of federal agencies, and lots of other folks from professions about the tremendous value that social workers bring to bear in every sector of our society. It's one of my favorite things to do. And so today I've decided that I'm not actually going to give you any advice. I figured that at this point you've probably had your fill of advice, but I am going to make 3 requests of you today. And one of them you've actually already heard from Dean Gilmore. So he and I did not speak about this ahead of time, but my first request is right along with his, and that is that please, no matter what you end up doing with the very fine education that you received here at the Mandel School, tell people that you are a social worker. And for those in nonprofit, tell them the reason you went into nonprofit is to make a change. This may seem like an odd or obvious request, but I tell you, we social workers have an odd quirk. As soon as we earn a title other than social worker, we start communicating to the world that we're a therapist, an administrator, a community organizer, a city councilwoman, whatever. And we leave the social work identity out of that. Please help us communicate who we are by letting people know that you are a social worker no matter what job you end up in. Thank you for that. So related to this, I wanted to share a little story or something that's happening in the life of my organization. We're currently preparing to engage our members and other stakeholders in some strategic planning. And the board of directors selected a consultant to assist us in this process. So the consultant has a tremendous amount of experience with other health professions and came highly recommended because of that experience. And because social work has key roles in healthcare and has been very active in interprofessional education and preparing practitioners for collaborative practice, based on that experience, he thought he knew who we were. So my first task was to introduce him to all the other roles that we play and spaces that we inhabit. The macro practice, community organization, the policy and political work we do, the international social development work we engage in, and ultimately, fundamentally, our commitment to social justice. So I took him to school, so to speak, and let him know about all of these other roles and values that we have. And he got it. And the reason I know that he got it is because a few weeks later, he and I were planning to meet, or we were meeting to plan the early stages of this strategic planning work. And he told me that since that conversation, he had been thinking about an old movie that came out, I think, in 98 or 99 called Sixth Sense. So it was directed by M. Night Shyamalan. And the main character of the movie was a young boy who was very disturbed but couldn't quite tell his family what was going on. And so the family sent him to a child psychologist. And as the child began to really trust the psychologist, he finally leaned in to tell him what had been so disturbing. He leaned in, he said, "I see dead people." So this is kind of a strange story, but this this consultant came back to me and said that since our conversation, I see social workers. Isn't that cool? He said, "I see social workers everywhere." I love that. I have the same experience. So that is my first request, to tell people that you're a social worker so that you can really be part of the fabric, the world, that people see social workers everywhere. My second request is actually related to that. And it's to make sure that when you tell people that you are a social worker, that they understand exactly what that means, the whole of who we are and what we do as a profession. See, if people know anything about social work, they know that we have big hearts. Sometimes, actually, we're accused of having bleeding hearts. Doesn't sound good. Sounds nice, perhaps, but we bring a whole lot more than that. We're known for having an inclusive set of values and principles that guide our work, that are the frame from which we view the world. And I love that about our profession, and I want you to be bold about the social work identity and the values that undergird our profession. Being bold about being a social worker will help us teach the world what that means. But this is the part that I really want to stress. Know that what you're bringing is not only an important perspective and set of skills, a set of values, It's not just an important perspective and set of values, but a set of skills that make success and positive change more likely in every situation. We're talking communication skills, problem-solving skills, analyzing, translation skills, organizing skills, team-building skills. You know the set of skills in your tool set. Being a social worker is a set of values and skills. It is not just being a nice person, though that does help. Years ago, I worked for someone who would occasionally comment to me that I had those soft skills that would make it possible to implement her agenda. Now, she didn't actually use the air quotes, but she kind of did. Every time I heard it, I heard her going like this. I had those soft skills. Her attitude was that the skills that I was bringing to the process were somehow secondary and more about who I was as a person than about my professional background and preparation. Well, let me tell you, without those so-called soft skills, every endeavor, initiative, or campaign is doomed to fail. These are not secondary skills. And I'm not just talking about the interpersonal skills. I'm talking about all of those other skills that come in our toolbox. That's what makes success more likely. So this reminds me of one of my favorite stories, and I'm going to apologize in advance if there are folks up here on the stage with me that have heard it. I know that I should probably retire this story soon, but I like it too much, and I wanted to share it with you today. So there was a time in my life when I drove to work and I listened to the same radio station every time. And this particular morning, there was a DJ who was doing this riff. I'm not even sure exactly what he was talking about. You know, we don't always listen to the DJ. It's an interesting job. But I heard him say, well, it's not like it's rocket science. And then he heard himself say that and kind of wondered out loud, like, I wonder what the rocket scientists say in that kind of a situation. So he's got a staff, he's got some research staff, and he said, find a rocket scientist. We want to know what rocket scientists say in that kind of a situation. So they found a rocket scientist, got him on the air, said, what do you say in a circumstance like that? And the rocket scientist said, well, we say, it's not like it's brain surgery. So what do the brain surgeons say, right? That was the next. So he sent his staff looking for a brain surgeon and found a brain surgeon and asked her, what do you say in this circumstance? And she said, well, we say it's not astrophysics. Okay, so he had some time to kill, I guess, on the air. So he went to find an astrophysicist. And the astrophysicist said that in those circumstances, what they end up saying is, well, it's not like working with people. So think about that. That's what you do. And think about that. The astrophysicist thought that that was the most difficult work there is. So you are about to embark on the next leg of your professional journey with heart and the ability to work with people, the values and skills that are essential components of your toolkit. I mentioned earlier that the world really needs more social workers, and I see evidence of that all the time, as I'm sure you do as well. There's strong evidence of major schisms in our world, both domestically and internationally, and if we are not prepared to act boldly, we could allow those schisms to grow. A few months ago, I had the opportunity to attend a talk by Dr. Arlie Hochschild, who is a sociologist from the University of Berkeley. Last year, she published a book called Strangers in Their Own Land. And this talk, she was talking about the journey that led to that book. She decided, and this was pre-election, 2016, but she had observed that the world had really become very divided and that she couldn't understand the other side because she spent too much time living in what she called her bubble of liberal Berkeley sociology, and so she really felt like she needed to reach out and try and understand what she couldn't understand as long as she was in that sort of self-contained echo chamber almost. So she went to the South and lived and worked and just hung out with people who have made very different choices in their life. Listened to very different news as the source of what's going on in the world, just to see if she could learn about them. More than anything, what she learned was that how desperately we need to find ways to bridge these schisms that we have in our country between red and blue, conservative and liberal, Native and immigrant, black and white, urban and rural. There are so many different examples. You know what I'm talking about. As comfortable as we are surrounding ourselves with like-minded people, and we need that to continue to support us in the work that we do, we need to figure out also how to create those bridges to the other side. She called these bridges empathy bridges, and kept underscoring how terribly important it was that we find ways to build millions of empathy bridges so that we didn't allow the schisms in our society and internationally to continue to grow. And as she talked, I kept thinking, this is exactly the kind of work that we need to do in social work and in nonprofit leadership. This is what you are now prepared to do, and I'm going to ask you to help us with that. And that brings me to my third request. Now, I'm going to say that this probably is going to sound like advice, and I did promise you that I wasn't going to give you any advice, so I'm going to stick with that promise. It really is a request that you take care of yourself well in this process. See, I have enjoyed every day of my social work career, and it is an unbelievably exciting and challenging, rewarding career. It is also, at times, really hard. Compassion fatigue is a very real phenomenon, and you may have already encountered people who are experiencing this in your internships, in the places that you're working. Staying close to people who are in pain and to communities that have been disenfranchised can start to feel entirely overwhelming and, quite frankly, depressing. There will be a temptation to hold back just a little bit more of yourself each time it gets hard like that. That's human nature. That's what we do to protect ourselves. But please remember that in order to have an effect on someone, you need to stay close enough to them to be affected by them. So I'm going to say that again. This is really important. It's something that I keep in mind all the time because I know that I went into social work to have an effect on the world. And that means I have to stay engaged with the world. So in order to have an effect on someone, you need to stay close enough to be affected by them. That means that when they're sad, you're likely to also feel sad. When they're angry, you might get angry. When they start to feel hopeless, you're going to start to feel hopeless. And in fact, it's important that you stay that close because it will be in that moment that you create the innovative, creative ways to move out of that hopelessness. So you're going to need to figure out a way to stay close in order to have the effect that you want. And in order to do that, you have to make it a priority to take care of yourselves. There's a blog that emerged shortly after the most recent presidential election that's become a source of support for those concerned about that election and what it means for the country. It's known by the hashtag #StayOutraged, and in fact, the blog was How to Stay Outraged Without Losing Your Mind. So I'd like to borrow and modify some of these tips and suggest that perhaps you could think about this as how to stay close without breaking your heart. So first, make sure that you have good support in your life. Friends, family, people that you can be honest with. And be honest with them. I mean, it's not just that you can be. You have to make sure to be honest with them. And even more importantly, invite them to be honest with you, because that will be sort of a way to protect yourself from starting to move back. Get enough sleep. Ha! You probably haven't gotten enough sleep for the last several years, right? Well, now's the time to start catching up on sleep because you'd be amazed, or probably have already discovered, what sleep deprivation can do to both your body and your mind. Take care of your body in other ways, simple ways. Make sure you exercise, not necessarily running a marathon, but taking a walk, doing some yoga, eat some good food. Get outside. If you live near woods or mountains or the ocean, that's awesome. But if you don't, stroll around your neighborhood. Breathe in fresh air as often as you can. And remember to have fun. That's the last suggestion here. You can have fun. It's a fabulous life, and remember to have fun. I hear a lot of fun going on in this class already, and that's great. So I'm ending with this list of ways that you can take care of yourself because it's only through doing so that you will have half a chance of staying awake, alert, and connected, which is our only hope to make a difference in the world, which led you to this profession. Our only hope of being true change agents. I want to make sure that when people look around at this world that gets complicated and hard but is always beautiful, that people will say, I see social workers, and one of them is going to be you. So congratulations again. Thank you, thank you, thank you for choosing this profession. Good luck.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Coffey. It's an inspiring presentation, and I love the thought, I see social workers. That's great. We're now coming to the part of the ceremony that you've really been waiting for. It's the presentation of our diplomas. We will honor graduates for the Master of Science in Social Administration degree and for the Master of Nonprofit Organization degree. Each graduate will come forward and be presented with an academic hood symbolizing the master's degree. After being hooded, each graduate will proceed to receive their diploma, shake hands, and have a photo op. Then each graduate will proceed toward the steps to receive a degree pin from our Alumni Association President, Annette Iwamoto. The pin symbolizes your accomplishments at the Mandel School. Wear it every day, wear it with pride. We want people to see social workers and nonprofit leaders. Before we begin, let me also note that we understand and appreciate your enthusiasm, family members, for this event. But we want to, in the interest of time and to make sure that every graduate's name is heard and they're recognized, I'm going to ask you to hold your applause. I know this is tough. This is tough. But hold it in. You hold it in, and it really feels good when you let it out at the end, because at the end, you're all going to be able to let it out and let it go. Marshals, staff members, please, guest participants, please take your places, and we're going to begin our presentation. As we begin the presentation of diplomas, we have special guests joining us to hood students today. Dr. Robert Fisher will hood M&O graduates. Dr. David Hussey will hood the Leadership Fellows and Child Welfare Fellows. And Dr. Adrienne Fletcher, one of our newest faculty members, will hood her daughter, Deborah Fletcher. And Mr. John Sedaris, the Chief Financial Officer of the university, will hood his daughter, Catherine Sedaris. Okay. Okay.
Laura Trepepi Adams. Hi. Ikra Baj. Hi, thank you. Thank you. Sarah Cecile Seishi. Hi, thank you. Amaritha Devarja. Caitlin Morgan Hawkins. Hi. Jennifer Elaine Hawkins. April Lee Hickman. Junko Shimizu. Hi, how you doing? Anita J. Tucker. Hi. Z. Sham. Hi. Leisha Marie Fairfax. Hi. Jocelyn E. Grostick. Grostick. Ian Kyle Pokrevka. Maria Dorsey Rorakesi. Caitlin Rochelle Uhl. Erica Marie Sabatos. Hi. Okay. Renata Denise Akinkuua. Hi. Thank you. Brianna N. Andre. Olivia Ann Armand. Hi. Alicia Askin. Abigail Lee Asmus. Hi. Okay. Nilda Baker. Teresa Lynn Baker. Janae Baxton. Brianna Beach. Heather E. Bess. Hi. Thank you. Jocelyn Joy Blanchard. Hi. Thank you. Gabriel M. Brown. Hi. Mario Bugnani. Thanks. Catherine Marie Burns. Thank you. Malcolm Burton. Thank you. Julie Butterworth. Carmela Campbell. Erin Nicole Cardis. Wyonette Monet Cheers. Chichester. Jamie Chichester. Deborah Alice Glades Sealtoe. Patty Elaine Cleaver. Abigail Ann Cohen. Timothy Robert Collins. Hi. Victoria A. Corrigan. Oh my God, sorry. David L. Cochran. Okay, go ahead. Ryan Daniels. Jasmine Renee Danner. Shaniva Dawson. Thank you. Sarah Ann Diger. Carolyn Regina Dixon. Thank you. Abigail May Dornick. Hi. Thank you. Kayla Marie Eister. Thank you. Brooke Fadley. Thank you. Jovan Kevin Farrow. Derica Filer. Michelle Fillmore. Chelsea Elizabeth Simmons Flanagan. Hi, Deborah. Deborah Fletcher, who will be hooded by Mandel School Assistant Professor Adrian Flesher. Hi. Hope I can do this right. Maureen Kelly Giordana. Hi. Ashley Nicole Garfido. Thank you. Crystal Lakeisha Harris. Come on, thank you. Daytona Christine Harris. Okay. Yvonne Marie Harris. Okay, go ahead, thank you. Taylor Jeffrey Hartman. Hi. Caprice Hill. Look at a mess here. Go ahead, Emily. Emily Hunter. Making a mess. Thanks. Jessica Dawn Hupp. Sylvia Ann Jackson. Hi. Jennifer Jama. Hi. Oh, one more over. Meow Diane. Hi. Good to see you. John Eric Johnston. Hi. Thank you. Megan Michelle Johnson. Hi. Thank you. Karen M. McCurney. Good to see you. William Edward Kennedy. Rachel Susan Crunchi. Alexander Kokesh. Teddy LaGuerre. Raya Elizabeth Lally. Jessica Sheridan Larkins. Yi Ying Lee. Thank you. Andrea Lasowski. Megan Elizabeth Long. Good to see you. Ian J. Lukish. Hi, thank you. Andrea Mallory. Thank you. Samia and Mansour. Thank you. Congratulations. Avery Martins. Hi. Brittany Michonne Martin. Thank you. Lisa Ashley Martin. Thank you. Thank you. Mary Eileen McCain. Thank you. Sarisha T. McCuther. Thank you. Charisse McKinney. Hi, thank you. Samantha Beth Miller. Nicole Pappas Malika. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Mariah Jean Moore. Hi, thank you. Stephanie Moore. Hi, thank you. Okay, thanks. Kendall Lynn Myers. Thank you. Monica Therese Ochawu. Thanks. Brandy Oakley. Hannah M. McKaysky. Hi. Thank you. Go ahead. Thank you. Jennifer Nicole Oprah. Hi. Thank you. Okay. Carlene Annette Owsley. Okay, thank you. God, thanks. Niza Pyrie. Good to see you. Okay, go ahead. Thank you. Roslyn Pinkins. Thanks. Thank you. Chen Ren. Oops. It's okay. Thank you. Lily Roberts. Hey there. Octavia Sanders. Hi, how are you? Cynthia A. Shartman. Jennifer Schmalz. Hi. Thank you. Okay, thanks. Amanda Schmigel. Hi, good to see you. Anika Therese Seitz. Hi, thank you. Shishi. Got it. Catherine Marie Sedaris is being honored by Chief Financial Officer of Case Western Reserve University, John Sedaris. Hi, good. How you doing? Okay, sure, thanks. Mary Singer. Thank you. Xinyi Situ. Kasaya Slaughter. Hey. Karen Smith. Thank you. How you doing? Good to see you. Keena Smith. Good to see you. Marlon Wayne Smith. Vanessa Nicole Sozu. Hi, thank you. Good to see you. Good. Alana Spalding. Hi there. JC Lynn Steinhauser. Thank you. Michael Edward Stouffer, Jr. Thank you. Carla Marie Stores. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Good, thank you. Demetris Sties. Thank you. Thank you. Yang Su. Uh-oh. Come on. Thank you. E. Soon. It's okay. Laurel Sutherland. Thank you. Zen Tiang. Hi, thank you. Hi. Latasha Renee Thomas. Thank you. Congratulations. Emily Grace Trom. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Jill Marie Valentic. Hi. Hi, how you doing? Jennifer Lynn Wagner. Benjamin Carl West. Thank you. Nancy Wilson. Hi, thank you. Tamara J. Winez. Thank you. Carly Wise. Hi, thank you. Okay. Melissa Ann Woofter. Thank you. Vanessa Wortman. Oops. Sure. Okay. Sarah Elizabeth Ziska. Brittany Beach. Okay, thank you. That's it?
We're through, right? How about a little applause? Well, I want to thank all of the graduates and their family members for being here today. I want to thank the members of our faculty and our staff who participated in today's ceremony. Participating as a marshal, as a reader, as a hooder is a special honor that faculty have. And we recognize faculty by giving them these opportunities. But there is one person I want to call your attention to who today hooded most of our graduates, and that's Distinguished University Professor Terry Hockenstad. And stay standing, Terry. Stay standing, Terry. This is Terry's 43rd graduation at the School of Applied Social Sciences. He joined us as dean of the school and has had a stellar career as a teacher, a scholar, an international social worker. He's retiring this year, and he'll have the title of Emeritus Distinguished University Professor. He has played such an intimate role in the lives of students of this school for 43 years that he wanted to be here and to have a very personal role in hooding our students. So, Terry, I appreciate you doing that, and we need somebody as tall as you in the future to do it. One of our alumni said to me not too long ago, once a part of the Mandel School, always a part of the Mandel School. The education you're completing today is the beginning of the next phase of your journey. As you go forth, please remember that you'll always be an important part of our school. Please keep in touch to share news of your lives, your careers. Please come back to celebrate reunions and take advantage of our other alumni benefits here and throughout the country. It's been my pleasure to serve you as dean of the school and to serve the faculty and all in the school. This is my 16th graduation as dean of the school. And each year, my heart is filled with what I feel from the graduates because of the work that I know that they are going to go out and do. You've all made a commitment deep in your heart that you want to serve others and to build strong communities. I thank you from my heart for making that commitment. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what you are doing as change agents. And we do want you to feel continually connected with the school. We do want you to visit. We do want you to participate. And so I want to see you in the future. And please come to our graduation next year, because when I introduce the alumni, I want to see many of you standing up who are in the Cleveland area. So my heartfelt congratulations to the class of 2017. We've had a wonderful diploma ceremony here, And the people who organize the Maltz Performing Arts Center are very glad that we're finishing now because there's another graduation coming in after us. And so we need to clear the auditorium. But wait, there's more. You're all invited back to our Mandel School main building where we have a reception. And we actually have food and refreshments, good stuff, and there are people waiting there to serve you some food. Anybody want a little food and some beverage? All right. Make your way back to the Mandel School. There will be shuttle buses operating here that will take you back, and I'll see you there, and we'll continue our celebration. I ask the guests to remain seated until all of our graduates have exited. The graduates are going to exit at the rear. Richard, please sound the recessional.